Hello and welcome back to the Scorching Start on the Birds Broadcast Network. I'm your host, Sammy Miller, alongside your broadcasters, Ian Nicholas and Dylan Pescatore. And we've been saying how special playoff baseball is. Well, how about championship baseball? For the first time in 10 years, the Firebirds are back on the biggest stage in all of the Cape Cod League, and it's against the defending champs, the Bourne Braves. But before we talk about today's game, we have to talk about how the Firebirds got here, and that was 2 straight sweeps, the last being, of course, against the YD Red Sox. And how about that game, Ian? Sean Matson closing things out, the entire team rushing over to him on the mound with 4,000 fans. How special was that moment?
It was the most special moment of the season, right? And for so many different reasons. And we've seen some great moments here from Eldridge, walk-off wins. We've seen historic wins, but we haven't seen something like that. Number one, you have your best pitcher on the mound, facing one of the best players in all of college baseball, in Braden Montgomery, with the tying run on first. And Sean Matson strikes him out, and he makes it look easy when it is not. It's so difficult, but he's made the impossible look possible this summer. And for Orleans, they got over that hump that they thought they never could. YD, a team that had taken down Kelly Nicholson 8 times in the playoffs before, but not number 9. This is a season of destiny for the Firebirds. It's because they got 10 dudes, one of them being Sean Matson, and 9 other guys who rushed him on the mound and have been here since day one. You don't see that often in summer ball, but this is an uncommon team trying to get this team a championship for the first time in 18 years.
It truly is inspiring, and something that's also been incredible for the Firebirds throughout this entire playoff run has been their pitching. On Wednesday, the forearms were incredible. What'd you see from those guys?
It all started with Jaden Winter, right, Sammy? He only pitched 4 days ago, came out and really gritted through 4 innings against YD. It wasn't easy, 3 walks, but also 5 strikeouts from Jaden Winter. Then you saw Jonathan Gonzalez, a big boost to the team morale, big boost to the locker room, etc. He hasn't pitched in 2 weeks. He's another guy who's been here almost the entire season. Came in, gave 2 innings to the Firebirds, and then it was Watson and Matson, the setup man in Matthew Watson, the closer in Sean Matson. The Firebirds in the 4 games that they've played in the playoffs have only given up 10 runs. It'll really play well against a hot Bourne offense.
And another day one guy who has been huge for the Firebirds all season long, and especially now in the playoffs, is none other than Jake Casey. In that Wednesday win, he went 3 for 3. You could tell afterwards he had that confidence back. How big is he, not only for today's game, but the rest of the series as well?
Well, Jake Casey is one of the most talented players on this team. There's no doubt about it. I mean, whether it's the home run swing, the plus athleticism, his above-average play in the corner outfield spots, and again, his great personality, somebody who's been a glue guy for this team, for this clubhouse. You can always see him riling up guys in the dugout if he's not out there making plays. It all started, I think, for him with that little ground ball past the third baseman to walk off Harwich towards the tail end of a regular season, and ever since, it just seems like things are starting to click for him. He had 2 hits in the game. He really had 3, but 1 was taken off the board. He showed you his speed on that infield single. I'm still going to call it an infield single. Jake Casey just had his day. It was not, again, a day where the offense necessarily had it from the jump, scored 2 runs early, then kind of stalled out in the middle of the game, but Casey continued to put guys on base and continued to put pressure on the YD pitching staff. So for Jake, I know he's necessarily kind of been a home run hitter this summer, but if he can continue to get on with singles, he's going to make an impact at the bottom of this order.
Now let's talk about today's big game. Starting on the mound for the Firebirds is none other than Vanderbilt's right-handed pitcher, Grayson Carter. His last outing was the first game of the playoffs. He went 6 innings with 8 Ks. What does he have to do to kind of replicate that performance?
Yes, Sammy, he has all the tools in the bag. Grayson Carter does, a fastball, a slider, and a changeup. And he went those 6 innings, and he had the ability to do so because he kept his pitch count down. A lot of small pitch innings, 10, 11, 12 pitch innings. Why? Because the walks weren't an issue. At times this season and this summer, even back at Vanderbilt, Grayson Carter has gotten into some control problems. Against Harwich in Game 1, only 1 walk. Also struck out 8, like you said. Doesn't have to replicate it tonight with a full rested bullpen for Orleans, all hands on deck. 5 innings would be magical for Carter.
That really would be incredible. And something about this Firebirds team is they've had some success over the Bourne Braves in the regular season, winning the season series 3-1. What factors contributed to that success?
Well, one thing I would say is Derek Bender was not in the lineup for 3 of those 4 games, and he's one of the best players in all college baseball in the entirety of the Cape. I mean, last night against Hyannis, he had an opposite field home run, which has been a rarity here in a wood bat league. But again, he wasn't in the lineup for 3 of the 4 games that you faced him. In the one lineup game he was in that lineup, he didn't really do anything. And then Josh Corral Kuroda Grauer, who was one of the heroes of last year's championship run for Bourne, he had a slow regular season. He only had 220, but in the postseason, he's been a beast. So I think those two factors, one being the fact that JKG wasn't really himself when playing Orleans, and two, Derek Bender wasn't really in the lineup, but both of those guys are going to be full force tonight. JKG, his bat is hot. Bender, he's going to be at the top of that order. Orleans is going to have to find a way to slow him down, but like Dylan said, this has been an immovable object. This pitching staff has been so good. They need to be really good against those two.
And the Braves, they are known to have some pretty big bats in their lineup. Who are some of those bats that we should be watching out for?
Yeah, those two that Ian mentioned, and Kuroda Grauer, Bender. You have to talk about Bryce Eblin as well from Alabama. He has upwards of a 20-game hit streak, the longest in Bourne Braves franchise history. So we're making some history either way if we're talking about Bourne. Those three are big. And then you mentioned the shortstop, Jonathan Vastine, another Vanderbilt product. Have to mention him as well. This whole lineup will be the best the Orleans Firebirds face in the playoffs, probably the best this season, talking playoffs, and their pitching, like Ian says, has to be at the top of their game.
And this is the biggest moment for the Firebirds so far in this entire summer. So, Ian, my question to you is, who's a player that you really want to see step up in this series?
It needs to be Joe Oyama, right? I mean, if you've been able to win 4 straight playoff games, and Joe Oyama hasn't really been the hero of any of them, which is pretty unbelievable when you think about it. This team was what Joe Oyama made it in the month of July, and he needs to get back to the guy who is lighting this place on fire. I'm not saying he needs to hit a leadoff home run to start the game, but could you imagine how this place would feel if Joe Oyama took one deep over the right field wall like he was doing so many times over the final week of the regular season? He just needs to take some risks, maybe try to steal a bag, maybe just try to spark this team with a bunt, whatever. Joe Oyama needs to have more than just one hit tonight. He needs to do something sensational. He needs to be the guy that was a finalist for the MVP.
I can't even imagine Eldridge Park would be going crazy. I think it might be an earthquake out here. Dylan, what about you? What's your player?
For me, it's someone who could also bring some fire to the fans. It's Eddie Micheletti Jr. at the DH spot in the 5 spot tonight. Micheletti possesses all the powers, also is a really good hitter if we're talking going to all fields. Can go the opposite way as a lefty. I think that'll prove big against top arms that you're going to face with Bourne. He can hit it to left field, right field, center field, and he also draws out long at-bats. Long at-bats have proven Orleans in the later innings have brought them runs, have brought them in big spots to win games. I think Micheletti is a huge star in this series.
And guys, you know what time it is. I need your championship keys to the game. This is a very important one. Ian, you're up first.
You need to get Bryce Cunningham out of this game, right? I know Grayson Carter knows how good he is. He goes to school with him, but he needs to pitch under 5 innings in my mind. In his first start of the playoffs, it was against Katuitt, and he got hit around. He didn't give up a ton of runs, but he gave up 7 hits in just over 4 innings. You need to knock him out of the game early because this Braves bullpen isn't bad, but it's not elite. It's not the Orleans bullpen. You need to get to them early.
Dylan, what about you? What's your key?
Defense wins championships, right? So that's the phrase. Defense has been really good for the Firebirds tonight, and it has the entire playoffs. Mostly the same defensive alignment with Casey in left, Trimble in right, and King in center. If the defense is good, everything will take care of itself. But you can't give this Bourne lineup extra outs.
This is the moment that everyone has been waiting for. It is game 1 of the championship series. It's the Firebirds. It's the Bourne Braves. Stay tuned for a lot more content on the Scorching Start.
All right, let's go to war, boys. You guys can get out.
I'm now joined alongside Firebirds manager Kelly Nicholson. And coach, for the first time since 2013, the Firebirds are back in the championships. How does that sound?
Sounds great. Sorry it took so long, right? But it feels great, and it feels great because of this group of guys, man. I've been up here, a little while, and it's the most fun, Sammy, I've had with a team. They're just like we were talking before we came on today. The energy's great. They are selfless. They have desire. They want to win this thing. They're fun to be around, man. I'm looking forward to getting this thing started in what we have about 90 minutes.
It really is all smiles here at Eldridge Park already. And something that has been working so well for you guys in this playoff run is your pitching. It has been phenomenal. How proud are you of those guys?
Yeah, really proud. From my experience, when you get in the playoffs, it seems like it boils down to pitching and defense. And we've pitched well. We pitched well against Harwich. We pitched well against YD. We have a dude on the mound tonight in Grayson Carter. Our bullpen's good to go. So really, really, really proud of the way that they have performed in the playoffs.
On Wednesday, one of your biggest offensive spark plugs was Jake Casey, who went 3 for 3. How proud are you of his growth that you've seen from day one till now? Yeah,
Case is just a baseball player, right? He loves being out here. He loves to compete. He's a great teammate. He's the first guy out of the dugout. He's about run me over a couple times on those walk-offs. And so it's really it's nice to see guys like that. It's nice to see good things happen to good people, and that's exactly what has happened to Jake this summer.
And tonight, starting on the mound for you guys is Vanderbilt's pitcher, Grayson Carter. He started things out for you guys in the first game of playoffs, went 6 innings with 8 Ks. What do you like so much about his game?
Well, like that, obviously like that. The nice thing about Grayson is that he has made drastic improvements this summer. If he has command tonight, the Birds are going to be in good shape. And if he throws anything close to the way he performed against Harwich, Birds are going to be in good shape. You know, it's going to be 95 to 98. He's going to touch 99 3, 4, 5 times. It's a devastating changeup. His breaking ball is developing, but he's super competitive, man. You know, he wants the ball, and he's got it. So I'm glad he's on our side tonight.
I'm glad he is too. And tonight really is a battle of the two beasts. What impresses you about the defending champs?
Don and I went and watched them last night, and they hit, and they've really been hitting. Their offense is silly. They have some silly numbers offensively right now in the playoffs, and so we're going to have to really pitch well. They've got a guy on the mound from Vanderbilt as well, Bryce Cunningham. I ran into Bryce yesterday at the game, and hey, he's good. We faced him, but he's good, and so we have our work cut out for us, like you do in every Cape League game, whether it's game 1 against whomever, or you're in the game 1 in the championship round. You're going to have to play well to win Cape games.
Well, it should definitely be an exciting one. Thank you so much, and good luck tonight.
You bet. Thank you, Sammy.
Hey, set the tone, boys.
I'm now joined alongside Virginia's Chase Hungate. Chase, this summer has flown by. How have you been enjoying it so far?
It's been awesome being able to come out here and compete against the best players, some of the best players in the country, and play with them and learn from them. You know, it's been awesome. So.
And today is the day you guys have been dreaming about. It's finally time for the championships. How special is it to be competing with this group of guys in particular?
It's been awesome. You know, this group of guys is special. We're just super excited to get out there and you know, get that ring. So.
What was the mindset when you're getting ready? You're going through your routine this morning. What's the mindset heading to Eldridge Park?
Honestly, just one game at a time. Keep everything. You know, it's just another game. Just keep everything the same. Not what's the word? Not blow anything like out of proportion. Just keep it simple. So, yeah. And
you're no stranger to postseason runs. You just came off one with Virginia going to the College World Series. Is there any special memories from that you can think of?
You know, just the whole season, honestly, was just super exciting, super fun. That team was awesome to play for. Learned a lot, and obviously making it to the College World Series is an awesome mistletoe to reach. So, yeah, it was super exciting.
And as a kid, I can imagine that you dream about a moment like that, making it to the College World Series. Yeah. How cool is it to finally have that dream become a reality?
You know, growing up, watching the World Series, you know, as a kid, and, you know, just dreaming about being in that moment and actually living it out, you know, it was awesome. So, yeah.
And you had a few Virginia Cavaliers join you out here in Orleans, and Colin Tuft and Justin Rubin. How awesome was it to have those familiar faces out here on the entire other coast?
You know, just like coming out here, not really knowing anybody, and then just having some familiar faces. It was nice to see, but you know, having the relationships that we've built throughout this team, you know, it's been really fun. So.
And before your time at Virginia, you were at VCU. How do you think that year there really helped shape the person and player you are today?
I loved that program. Unfortunately, my coaches left for another job. So I decided to leave, but I learned a ton from them, and it was super fun. That team was also great. But yeah, I learned a lot from them, and it was a lot of fun.
And baseball DNA runs in the Hungate family. Your older brother, Cade, pitched at Florida State and Liberty. So how awesome was it just growing up, having that built-in best friend that you can just go in the backyard and play some catch?
Yeah, it was awesome. He's helped me so much throughout my career. I wouldn't be where I am today without him. You know, when I was younger, not like having much of like a program or anything to go off of, he kind of like helped me out and get started, showed me the way, what I needed to do to get to where he was at, which is where I was trying to get. So, you know, like I said, I wouldn't be where I am today without him. So.
And do you think it also brought out that competitive fire, just battling it every day with your older brother and being the younger little brother?
Absolutely. You know, we used to go at it every day. So I think that he definitely shaped my competitive side. So, yeah.
And focusing on this series and just the season as a whole, you've been incredible for this team as one of the strongest pitchers. So how do you think going up against some of the best hitters in the country has helped push you as a pitcher?
It's awesome facing these guys. Like you just said, it's some of the best hitters in the country, and just being able to go at it with them, just being able to compete against them and learning from them. Learning from the guys on our team who's also some of the best hitters in the country. You learn a lot and just get better every day. So it's been a lot of fun.
And as a pitcher, having that good relationship with your catcher is so important. And you have Owen and Henry who have just been unbelievable this season. How great is it to have those two that have been with you since day one here?
They've been awesome. I'm super glad that I landed on a team with them. Those two, they've been unbelievable behind the plate, also in the box. They've just been super cool teammates, and also obviously as a catcher, it's been awesome. So.
And what does Chase Hungate do on an off day or anytime he has some free time? What's your favorite thing to do?
Honestly, if I can get to it, play basketball. Yeah.
Big hooper?
Big hooper, or golf.
There you go.
I'm not very good, but I'll play.
Maybe a little Steph Curry. He balls on the court, also on the links. And if you had to give a piece of advice to a future Firebird, maybe next summer, what would it be?
Just enjoy the moment. Yeah.
Enjoy the moment. Enjoy today. Yeah. Good luck today in Game 1 of the championships. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That'll do it for this edition of the Scorching Start on the Birds Broadcast Network. Make sure you tune in at 6:30 when the Orleans Firebirds take on the Bourne Braves for the first game of the championship series.